So de la ha, Hawanti, welcome. This is going to be a recording with Twila Whitebull. My name's Tiffany Stewart, and we're making a video for future teachers. And we are interviewing Indigenous teachers that have excellent methods and different aspects of teaching. And so I'm going to introduce a little bit, introduce Twila. But before I do, a little bit about our program with the University of Oregon through the Sapsik'gsmålá program. It's called Grow Your Own, and it's a grant that the University of Oregon Sapsik'gsmålá received. And we're working with high school and college students wanting to become teachers. So this is gonna, be open to those teachers or future teachers for them to view. So Twila, I've known Twila for about 12, 15 some years.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here, Twila.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All the way from South Dakota. I love technology now, right?
Yes.
And I just had a few slides I wanted to show before I have Twila talk about her classes. She graduated from Haskell Indian Nations University with American Indian Studies and from University of Oregon from the Sapsik'gsmålá program. And I had a few other pictures. And how we are also tied together is I was Miss Haskell and she was Miss Haskell too. So
yes,
great rich history there. And so Twila has been a classroom teacher, and I have followed her on social media. So I've seen all different stories, even living, thousands of miles away, especially about making her students ribbon shirts and their ribbon skirts, and teaching the children about the Lakota history and culture and language. So no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Twila, and I'm going to take this off of there. I'm going to stop the share. There we go. All right. So Twila, I'll have you talk a little bit about where you teach, how long you've been teaching, and it's a little bit about you.
Sure. Petu washte machiapi, wamblipaha mataha. First grade Wayawa. Chante nape chiuzapi. Good day, everyone. My name is Twila Whitebull. I am a first grade teacher at Cheyenne Eagle Butte School. I have been there for about, this will be coming up, this is my 4th year there, but 10 years total teaching first grade. And then I'm also summer school coordinator this year. I've been teaching half kindergarten, half first grade, on and off, both back and forth for 10 years now. So all the little guys.
Little guys. And you've been teaching through the pandemic then too.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Very big challenge. It was next week on Thursday we'll be done. Thank God.
So I'm going to have you share some examples of how you incorporate Indigenous teaching.
How I incorporate Indigenous teachings as a Lakota speaker, I of course incorporate the language into our classroom. Like for example, everyday commands. Let's see, everyday commands like animals, their colors, their numbers, everything from our rules to our classroom. Like for example, like, sit down, stand up, basic commands like that. Asking to use the restroom. They ask to use the restroom in Lakota, or stating their names, when they greet you in the morning, Petu washte, hihani washte, doksha ake, all those into our classroom. Another example will be making, as you mentioned earlier, making ribbon shirts and ribbon skirts for my kids. Growing up, I was taught by my grandfather and my mother that you honor your kids. You always honor your kids. You make them outfits. You have a giveaway for them. You have a naming ceremony, a feed, a feast, all for the children. And my Lala means always, or can always remember this quoted by him, but he would say, as soon as children walk into the room, they're the center of attention. So I always think of that every time a child walks into a room. They're the center of attention, not me, not anybody else. Those children are the center of attention. And so, yeah, I always try to incorporate the traditional teachings into my classroom. And talking about ceremonies, a lot of times our people are lost in our ways, and talking about ceremonies and how important those are with, in our everyday life, like becoming a woman. A lot of students, they don't understand that, when becoming a woman, you have a role in your society, and which, of course, I believe is in many societies. So yeah, those are just a few things of how I incorporate Indigenous teachings into my classroom.
Mhm. Now, I on one of the pictures you had values on there. There was
Yeah.
different values. So I was like,
Yes,
things are posted in your room, and
yes. Those are one of the values. Like I try to incorporate as their rules.
hmm
Honesty, trusting,
hmm
courage, all of that incorporated into their everyday
hmm
school life.
hmm Now, do you have some leeway, like on like books you get to read, or different curriculum that you get to utilize in your classroom?
Oh yeah, it's very open. We use as far as curriculum for Indigenous um teachings, we don't really have one set curriculum. It's still in the
hmm
process, having teachers here and there. Um, but I try to use, we have like the Lakota Language Consortium. We have like um,
hmm
the, the, what is it? The other one, there's another one, but they have a lot of books, but it's not
hmm
very, set in stone. So yeah, but as far as incorporating other teachings, other cultures into our room too, I try to read stuff like those ABC books, about the Onondaga and like the Oneida and Cherokees and all that stuff, try to incorporate those ABCs and teach
hmm
them that, there's other tribes out there.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes on reservations, it's when I've worked on reservations, it's like kids don't know,
Yeah.
living in one place and with, one tribe, and it's like, oh,
Yes.
there's other native people and they're like us, in some ways. And
Yeah.
that's cool. Are you able to incorporate like any type of music or dance or
Oh
huh?
yeah. Yeah.
I was
Music,
wondering
dance.
about
I
that.
tried. Yeah. Music, dance, like during like brain breaks,
hmm
kids want to get up and dance. So I put on some powwow music or, some
hmm
flute music or, something like that. But yeah, uh dancing too. And especially, well, during this pandemic, it was so hard to do any of that this year, having like a after school program where we could do something with the kids. And well, hopefully we'll lean back into that throughout the year, this coming year, and the years come after, because the kids really, they miss it. They love it.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait till this next school year. It's like, how is it gonna be for sure? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Um,
Yes.
So what have been some, you've been teaching there about 10 years, some difficulties that you faced as a teacher?
um one of one one difficulty would be the lack of support from the community. um we get, or I say we, as in teachers, principals, everybody, we get blamed a lot for like bullying,
Mhm,
and what are you doing to help my child? And I try to tell them, of course, we're doing everything in the best of our power to, make sure your child is safe. But
mhm,
then, of course, that, resorts back to them thinking, oh well, this teacher's, getting my kid bullied, and it's not nothing like that. But we always get the blame for it, and we
mhm,
try everything the best of our power to um, make sure their child is safe. I do anyways in my classroom. um, and another one would be that parent, I'm not trying to blame parents either. I'm not, no way, shape, or form I'm blaming parents, but getting their kids to school every day, getting their
mhm,
kids that quality education, and they get a hot meal, and they get to see their friends. But that, you know, their idea on education is like, well, I didn't finish, so they don't have to finish. It's not,
mhm,
a huge priority which I think it should be a huge priority. And it is in a lot of ways with a lot of families, but there's those families that are, their education isn't the first priority. And then another one would be, coming from a community of alcoholism, drugs, and all of that, our kids see things that they're not supposed to see. They see things, they hear things they're not supposed to hear. And to them, that's normal. To them, that's very normal. But to, others, that would be like, oh no, I can't believe they go through stuff like that. But, they have to understand that, we come from low income families, and students, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice to come to, switch families or, whatever they want to do. But, that's their norm. But what I try to do is make it like, it's okay to come to school and not have to worry about that life for just a couple of hours, And so I try to teach them, there's other things out there when you grow up. I always do this with my kids every year, but when you get older, if you come to school, you get a good education, you can be a doctor, a lawyer. And, I try to instill that in them, that coming to school every day, doing your work, you're going, even though they're only in first grade, but still, I remember when I was in first grade, I wanted to be a nurse since I was in first grade, So, if I instill that in them, they'll remember that till whenever. So, yeah. And I think I know I have a lot of difficulties in teaching, but another one would be like the flexibility. We have to be very flexible, which can put a lot of strain on us. We have to cover classrooms. We have to, the lack of paras and resources and everything. We have to cover other classrooms. We have to do coaching, do all of this stuff, because there's not a lot of people here that are, don't have like the D1 schools and all that stuff here. So here I am, first grade teacher, then I go off to teach junior high volleyball, So, it's just, coming together as that, helping the community. And well, those are just some of the difficulties I find in teaching.
Yeah, it's like definitely on like get subs, or on a lot of reservations too. It's like you might have to take another class, and they'll split a class up between two teachers, and you take a whole nother half a class. It's like, wow.
It is.
Because there's just not enough people to help for sure.
Nope. For sure.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Now, what is the best part of teaching?
Of course, the students. The students are first and foremost, and they're, they feed off of the teachers. We feed off of them. We get to, we get them for 8 hours of the day. So yeah, the students, I have my A and B group, my hybrid group, and some days my A group is just like, they just brighten up the room. The next day they're like, I don't want to be here, I'm tired, stuff like that. But another one, what was it? Oh, best part of teaching, getting to know the students and their strengths, and then going off of those strengths, and then helping them here. And then because some students have strengths here, some students have strengths there, and then you feed off of those, and you help those, help the ones that are hands-on learners. So you use more hands-on. So use ones that like to talk, and so you feed off of that one. So yeah, that would be another one. No, another one would be just having fun all day. Literally, I just like going to work. I love it. I wake up excited to go. And I know some of that sounds cliche, but I've been teaching 10 years, and I can still say I love going to work. I do. I honestly love it. So yeah, those are some of the few best things about teaching.
Right on. Now, what advice do you give for future teachers?
Advice?
Now, this
So,
could be advice also like during college time and then also becoming a teacher, because we have some students that are going into
right.
college. So a little bit maybe advice for college and then also, when you become a teacher.
Okay. Going to college, my biggest thing would be go to class. Go to class. You know, just I mean, there was a time I missed one class and I felt like I fell behind about 2 months. So yeah, my biggest advice for the ones going into college would be go to class.
That's great
And
advice.
yes, just go to class. That's the first and foremost. And then,
Yep.
um, you know, make friends, make allies, study buddies. You're gonna find a lot of times, you're gonna need a study buddy or someone to help you, write a paper or group project, whatnot, and get good amount of sleep. Sometimes you're gonna be up during those finals weeks and you're gonna get like 2 hours of sleep and then you're gonna regret it. But no, get a lot of sleep. And advice for teachers, the future teachers, is don't forget to smile and have fun, because there's some days was so serious and I thought, oh, I was so caught up in my standardized testing. Oh, I gotta get my kids ready for testing. And I was serious and I wasn't smiling. And then I was like, you know what? Settle down, breathe, smile, have fun. It's not that bad. You'll get through it. So yeah, just having fun and smiling. Sometimes we get way too serious as teachers and we want our kids to succeed. That's how bad we get, you know. Also being flexible, like we were stating earlier, we couldn't find subs, so we had to take in classes. Or, I wanted to teach kindergarten this whole time, but they kept putting me in first grade. So, there's that flexibility there. And then also having patience. A lot of times we're going to find ourselves frustrated, with kids not coming to school, and you want this kid to come to school to succeed and whatnot, but you have to have patience, a lot of patience with how some students are raised and how some students perceive school. So yeah, but yeah, that would be my
Advice.
yes.
Yeah, that's some great advice. I'm like, those two will take you very far for
Yeah,
sure.
very far. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for interviewing with us today.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And I know, I was like, I know you have TikTok too. I was like, people can follow you on there. And I was like, all
Yes.
about your teaching. And I was like,
Yes.
man, this is great inspiration. Cause yeah, it's just like smile and, keep on going. And
Yes, I agree. And thank you, Tiffany. I've always, looked, even though you're younger than me, but I've always looked up to you too as a mentor and all that. And I appreciate this opportunity.
yeah. Thank you so much, Twila.
Yes, no problem.